Hi guys, and welcome back to Plants vs Zombies Bitz, the fan-made PvZ platformer that's been in the works for well over a year now. For those of you who have been with the channel for a while, you'll know I've had a bit of a break from doing videos, but I'm now back catching up on all the PvZ fan game updates I've missed. So today we're going to be checking out some new gameplay footage, boss battles, garden defense, and some new characters you may recognize. Now before we go on to the new gameplay, I wanted to just quickly show you the new main menu screen. So this will appear when you load up the game. We have an updated logo, a very fancy tree, and a beautiful night sky. A great way to start any epic adventure. Anyway, let's move on to the new gameplay. So if you've watched my other PvZ Bitz videos, you may remember what some of the original gameplay was like. We've gone from a simple starting area with Dave's house to now something much more fleshed out that capitalizes on the platforming aspect of the game. The levels have lots of verticality and areas to explore. I imagine in this type of game there will be lots of hidden areas and secret missions to discover. Whilst we get to see how the terrain is going to look, there are a number of other things you may have noticed. First of all, you can see in this frame that there is one piece of the environment that has a big spike sticking out of it, and presumably you will take damage if you touch it. So yeah, it looks like zombies aren't the only thing you're going to have to watch out for. We're also introduced to our first new character, who you may recognize from the latest PvZ 3 beta. We have Mo, the lawnmower, who looks like he is going to be our guide in the initial parts of the game, but I have been told by the creator he is not the only character we'll meet. The animation here also looks really cool, and we actually have some dialogue which is fantastic. A couple of other subtle details in here include Pea Shooter's projectile having bounce physics, the sound effects in general which are coming together quite nicely, and finally the sun collection animation which works seamlessly. Now let's talk boss battles. This new clip of gameplay showcases one of the bosses we'll be facing during our PvZ Bitz adventure. I don't have any confirmed name for this guy, but I'm going to go with Chonky Imp, as clearly this guy has been making some huge gains in the gym. So during your adventure there's going to be certain challenge sections which are marked by these blue flaming gravestones. I'm unsure whether these will be for boss fights only or not, but these sections are going to involve some sort of activity that has to be completed before you can move on. Now, for the most part, this bodybuilding imp looks to be one of the more basic bosses in terms of movement, but he does have another more disturbing ability. You may have noticed that this guy is actually using some sort of magic candy or something that gives him these abilities, but the second one he uses makes his body disappear, his eyes pop out of his head, and now there are 3 imp body parts to battle. So yeah, it's quite a gruesome ability, but I certainly think it's unique and funny. I'm looking forward to seeing more bosses in the future. Before we move on, there was something else sneakily showcased in this boss video. At the start you may have seen another new zombie, the Pogo zombie. You can see him down there just living his best life, but it's cool to see another type of zombie in the game. Whilst we're on the subject of new characters, let's discuss the Zomblob, who you may remember from PvZ Heroes or the older version of PvZ 3. So yeah, there's going to be some familiar faces from across the entire Plants vs Zombies universe in this game, but yes, from a visual standpoint this guy looks awesome. The devs have done a great job with it so far. In terms of abilities, again this guy will work very much like he did in Plants vs Zombies 3. Starting as one zombie, when it is defeated it then splits into 2 weaker zombies, then 4, and finally 8. The only difference in PvZ Bitz is that in Zomblob's final stage he will become invincible unless you use a specific ability that can be unlocked in the game. The last piece of new gameplay to show you today is of the garden defense areas. Like the boss sections we've just talked about, you will come across some areas that involve a garden defense activity like in the Garden Warfare games. Zombies can enter from the left or right, and it's up to you to protect the Pea Shooter Scarecrow. I really love how this combines the PvZ tower defense and PvZ shooter mechanics together. It works like with any typical PvZ. You can collect sun from sunflowers, which you can then spend on plants to help you defend your lawn. We also have features like the shovel and wave indicator like in the official games. As well as this, there's another nice feature in here from PvZ Adventures, where after a certain amount of time a plant will get tired and either needs replacing or may return to full strength after a cooldown period. Also in the clip, the player doesn't shoot any peas. I'm not sure if these sections disable your ability to shoot. I hope not, as I think it'll make it more interesting, but I don't have any confirmation at the moment. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you think of PvZ Bitz in the comments below. But other than that, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons, turn on notifications, and if you want to support the channel further, check out my Patreon page by clicking on screen now or through the link in the description. Okay, thanks guys, bye.